father's abuse relied on the fact that his victims wanted him more than they wanted themselves, which meant they would have to exude and exalt virtues he did not have, like forgiveness. I had to be generous for a man whose malevolence was born from how ungenerous and greedy he could be. While I know he did a lot of harm to his other family, he did not work to redeem himself. He did work to redeem himself in their eyes, but he did not do that with us. And a part of me thought that if I followed the inkling I had always had, my dad had more wives, more affairs, and potentially more children, it would oddly heal me. Not because I was finding out that the snake still rattled, but maybe the other families that were not caught, like mine was, would be nicer to me. As I continued to scrape the surface and find truths I swore I was ready for, I became angry, because I realized my father chose to hurt my mother and me. He was good to the others, gave them homes, lifestyles, and whether or not they were under false identities, he materially and spiritually maintained them, while we got punished because we were the crime that was caught. The problem is, he was the criminal. And I felt disgusted at myself for how desperately I tried to make that criminal love me when he was loving others, and genuinely thought I was the one he could abuse. It was the biggest detective mystery in the relationship my father had with my mom, and the love letters he left after I made her stop talking to him. In perspective, I realized my father had a sort of sibling rivalry with me. My mother gave us money and affirmations, and my older brother, aka my dad, preferred to hang out with me, his little sister/daughter, when she was around, not alone. His insistence that she always be with us, and mine that she should not be, stayed with me, because he only got worse when we were in private. Yet I could not understand how the man that most made and enjoyed her crying truly believed she was his best friend, I quote, and did not know, and I quote, what I did to make you stop talking to me, end quote. How about exist? Yet finding my father's other lives, or the potential of his other dealings, made me wonder if out of all my father's women, my mother was the closest he ever had to a mom. We all in some ways date our parents, and I have found through my own experience, my lack of being parented as a child made me very disappointingly look for parenting my partners just to wind up being their mommy. I cleaned up after them, encouraged them to go after their dreams, stopped my life according to their hissy fits, and told them their bad behavior was excusable because they would become a better person. Yet when I finally got them to their destination or their desired accomplishment, they had outgrown me. They were ready to graduate and get a partner. I might as well have breastfed them. And that's when it hit me. My dad's letters of grief and fawning over my mom, the one out of all his women he most mistreated and abused, his offspring with her, was his mom, because she gave him something he claimed his own mother never gave: unlimited, unconditional kindness, even at the face of his own malice. My mother was never evil to my dad, and that was not something he said about his other women, including me. Let's heal. Let's discuss. So, I had mentioned before that I had found potential evidence that my father had other identities, other wives, even other kids. It's something that I had always felt. And as I started scratching the surface, I really thought it's kind of like you open up they say, don't open up a can of worms that you are not ready to open, that you can't put back in. But I thought in some ways, because I already knew the can of worms, it wouldn't hurt. And finding out some of the other things my father was doing, people, and finding out, that other family members got homes and lifestyles. And it's something that he said, I just didn't know how many people. He was telling me I treat my other kids better. And I never picked up until, or maybe I just never allowed myself to fully feel how effed up that was. And then looking to see if he had other families, because my intention is exactly what I said, and it might sound deranged. One of my biggest gripes with my father, well, not that he didn't pay child support, is that he didn't let me have siblings. I really wanted a brother and a sister. I really, really did. And once my mother had me, she got so sick. And my father, kind of was very proud that my mother refused to fall in love again and start another family because that would have ended him. And it's something that he wrote in the letters, this kind of overarching feeling that she was his. And one of the things he said was, I don't, which is, again, I've said it before, you know you're in danger when somebody who abuses you asks, why are you upset? He literally put, I don't know, let me get the specific quote, what I did to make you stop talking to me. What? He really, that's one of those lines that you're like, drop the mic, sir. Bring the beat back. Like the DJ scratches. I I was dumbfounded by that line. And I guess I thought finding out the potential of my father having other women and other kids wouldn't hurt, but I never thought they got homes. What if he gave them great lifestyles? What if he paid for their colleges? What if he has grandchildren with them that he loves? What if I never, it's like I didn't, in my brain, I just thought I might, which is, it's so illogical too when you think about it, because I really just thought, what if I have other siblings and I get to meet them? Not really thinking that if this man, I really do feel we were just the family that was caught, and he wasn't scared of us as much as he was scared of them. And my mother told me his wife, one of his wife had said, um, potentially, right? Um, you know, who's he going to stay with? Kind of saying, I'm going to fight for him. And if she's willing to fight for a guy that disrespects her, it means that she's going to fight the woman that is trying to respect her. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mother was kind of more so in the mentality of like, wow, we really landed in this D-bag's baggage. And she was like, the boy is mine. You need to give him up. And she, you know what? Her strategy was good. Terrify him into love, and he will get you a home. And don't ever research again, and you could act like there's no other home. And, my father was very good at acting like, I'll never disappoint you again. I know I took money from you, but I'll never ask again. I know I relapsed, but I'll never do that again. I know I conned, but I know I lied, but I'll never lie again. And I guess there was an inkling in me. Something, call it God, was telling me, look, and you shall find. And as I do more research and as I find more things and the potential of what could be really bad, I didn't realize I was putting myself in kind of a weird position, because now what I ask is not why my father didn't love me. Now I have to ask why he didn't fear me. Why, out of everyone, he abused me and my mom. Why, out of everyone, he chose those are the two I don't have to take care of. I don't have to step up for. I don't have to be good to. I don't have to materially give them like I give the others. I don't have to spiritually stay in line. And there was an evil in him that needed to come out. I just don't know why he chose us. Because I don't, if he didn't want to heal, if he didn't want to become a better human being genuinely, that's on him. What about me? And it's something that's very common in abuse victims, this real question of, why me? What in my face, what in my spirit made you think that I would stay silent, that I would stay unalive, that I would stay small, that I would stay hidden? And what I realized is that now I inadvertently am totally following his abuse pattern because he relied on me being quiet. And there's a part of me that's like, I guess I really entered in a level of innocence. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want love. And that was the key ingredient to my father's abusing of me. I wanted his love. He wanted to hurt me. And if, you know, he lied about my existence. And if I exist, I destroy his lies. And he would much rather keep them. And that's why I've always said I always felt literally unsafe about my dad. And now I feel even more unsafe. Because the more I unpack about this man, the scarier it becomes to me. Like, what would he do to me? What would he do to me? Who would he send against me just to protect himself? Am I physically in danger? Would he do that? Because now I know he don't have limits. And it was this big gripe, and it was funny because I was really thinking about when there's an episode called Should Ask Anyone, and I'm talking with Aramis, and he talks about like this kind of you date like your mom. And it stayed with me not simply because of how I choose men, like my mother chose men, from really a quiet trauma response, but how there might be. It made me wonder once you choose somebody out of this kind of maternal wound, when does the maternal energy actually end? If I'm dating men that are like my dad and in turn dating exactly like my mom, when do I stop being mommy and when do they stop being daddy? That was the thought that stayed with me. And when I read some of my father's old love letters, I thought to myself, it was just so weird to see somebody kind of Heathcliff and go full Wuthering Heights on how he loved this woman and have no kind of sense that he destroyed her. Or like, I know I've been bad, but come on, right? And now in perspective, I think my mother, out of all, even me, my father would swear that I was somehow a villain upon birth. And what I realize is he, if we all date, particularly people that didn't have good parents or weren't properly parented as a child, if we all date looking for partners that could be our parents and give it or approach us in some type of childlike way, it goes both ways. My father was looking for a mother, somebody to coddle him and care for him like a mom. And that's when it hit me. That's what he hated. His mom was leaving. The woman that actually gave him unconditional, unlimited love, despite all his rebellions, despite all his crimes, despite all his sins, was saying, "You've reached my limit." And it was kind of like this, oh, oh, great, you chose my sister over me. Oh, you're going to join my sister, mom? It didn't hit me because my father never treated me like his child or a child, period. And I always, in talking to a lot of my other friends that also came from single parent households who had these fathers that were very financially and emotionally and mentally messy, we all have this common ground of they really do have this tendency of treating their child like their ex-wife. Like, once I'm out of that once I left your mom, I left you. And child support and alimony are one and the same. There's just this feeling of I left. And the dynamics can very feel like that girlfriend that just doesn't realize I'm not that into her. Instead of, whoa, wow, that's my daughter. And that's not with every man. And that's what's so disappointing. I see men who step up. I see men that are good. I see men that are great fathers, even great ex partners. And my father was not that. So I kind of went in with this mentality that I didn't realize was so innocent and almost immature in terms of, if you find the other wife, if you find the other kids, if you actually find that it's not the story he said of, because that was the thing, he lived in two houses, eventually I'm sure my mother was painted like the mistress, right, not the other wife, but initially was, I just fell so in love, right? I was just mad about her. If this was actually a serial thing, if this wasn't bigamy and this was actually polygamy, but those other families were treated well and you're a part of the one that wasn't, I didn't fathom how much that would hurt. I didn't fathom, because I was the only child he had with his mom. I didn't even think that, oh wow, I have more sisters, more brothers, and they're all like two more brothers, two more sisters with that specific woman. I'm saying if, but like, because you don't know whether to knock on the door, but yet there's, in my head, I'm looking for family, but I can't. And that was the thing about my father's, the toxicity and the evil, the wickedness of his being, particularly in my life. Other people look for their siblings. I have to, if I look for my siblings, I also look for my father's crimes. I also look for illegalities. I don't just look for family members, I look for illegalities. And that inability to just push away darkness and unrestfulness. Like if I call potentially, if I call potentially another wife, another sibling, do they know about me? Will they even want a relationship with the person that kind of burst their bubble? And I swear to you, I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it like that. And as I went into getting more information, it really hit me like, wow, this hurts, because I'm confirming that my father not only wanted to abuse me and my mom, but I'm further confirming he was totally capable of being good to us. Totally capable. And it was just that we are the family that got caught. That's all, like, and we are the family he didn't fear, rather. That's how he painted us. That's the crime that got caught. Because it could even be flipped back. We're the wife and daughter, and we caught them, right? Like, we're the ones that got caught. That's how we got treated. The crime that got caught. And it just did not associate with me, I swear to you, in my head, that finding the potential of other families and other children could somehow disrupt my equilibrium. Because I went in so, da 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 da, and then it went back into the letters. It makes his relationship with my mom even more sickly. Because the whole time that he is doing everything not to give her a cent, to actually take from her, he's funding other people and putting on a mask of the father who shows up. And, it's something that I think about. My mother definitely didn't protect me from my dad, financially or emotionally. But I just didn't realize how despicable his behavior was. I really didn't. Because you always, it's tricky when it's your father who abuses you. It's tricky because you can't help but still kind of want him. You can't help but still hope that one day he becomes better with you. And that's why I said finding the potential of other families. It didn't hit me that what if he was good to them? What if he showed up to the birthdays and in your birthday he was like, oh God. It did not hit me the level of hurt of him potentially having more good relationships. How much it would hurt the fact that he scapegoated me and made sure not simply that he didn't love me, but that I didn't love myself. Because that's what really hurts about abuse. Your abuser, it's not that your abuser doesn't love you, it's that they don't want you to love you. He wanted me to feel disgusting while he was being it. And wow, rocked my boat. Rocked my boat. And what it does is it makes me feel like I'm still protecting him. Because again, my existence challenges my father's lies, challenges his image. And which is why I talk about, like, am I safe? But I feel like I'm protecting him still because I just don't want to hurt anybody. And the fact that I exist hurts people. But acting like I don't exist hurts me. And that was always the biggest gripe my father put. Deandra, you have to understand your existence hurts people. Not my crimes. Not my deception. Not my deviancy. Your existence. So you gotta be quiet, kid. You gotta hide, kiddo. You gotta play dead, kiddo. And I feel bad for me in the sense of it really was that there's this little girl that has no family but yet is so familial in her nature. I was made for big Thanksgivings. I was made for 20 million cousins and 30 million siblings. I am love incarnate. And because my father is evil incarnate, he very successfully cut me off from love. Because it's not just that he cut me off from money. It's that he cut me off from love. And it hurts because he doesn't deserve half the love he has ever got in his life, and maybe not even a quarter of it. And I think that's what Daddy Recovery is about. Evil can be successful. Evil can hurt you and get away with it. And you can live maybe a little too long under the suffering of where evil wanted you to stay. And you'll make moves that you swear will heal you. And like this one, might actually break your heart more. Realizing every day more and more just how much my father despised me. I just thought I was more okay with it. Stay strong out there, okay? Love yourselves. Choose you above all. And don't ever regret being love. I mean it. Don't ever regret being love. I don't regret loving my dad. I regret not loving myself. Check out daddyrecovery.com. Check out DeandraReviewsItAll.com. Check out Hardin on all music platforms. May you all find peace. I really mean that. May you all find peace.